I'm Darren Rovell of the Action Network, and we are here for another show on the business of Michael Jordan. It has been incredible to watch all week, and actually for the last 3 or 4 weeks, Michael Jordan on eBay, on every single platform, the amount of people talk to him, and just to see the record prices that are being set. So we have a really great show tonight. First of all, we are giving away 2 Michael Jordan schedules. So the Bulls schedule from 5, a really cool piece. We're giving those away. Just reply to us with hashtag MJRaffle3. And tonight on the show, we have Rick PROBSTEIN, CEO of PROBSTEIN 123, who is a eBay power seller of amazing proportions. We have Trent Tucker. We have Patrick Ryan of Event Elect, who has a great Jordan collection. And we have Jordy Geller, who decided after being on our show a couple of weeks ago to put up his shoes, 1985 Air Jordan 1s, which is at Sotheby's right now, for $150,000. So joining me now is Rick PROBSTEIN, who I met on a plane a couple of years ago. And we've kind of kept in touch, and I've certainly watched him on eBay. And I could say without a doubt, Rick, you've sold more Jordan rookies than anyone on the face of the earth. So first of all, what have the past 3 weeks been like? I mean, I would say that you know prices in the card industry better than any single individual because you sell these cards. What has happened?
So just to give you a sense in terms of in January, February, a Michael Jordan rookie in a 10 was in the 30 to 32,000 range. Then a few weeks later, it started creeping up into the 40 range. We actually sold one gentleman 12 Jordan rookies in 10s for $40,000 each. Now,
get out of here. When was that?
So that was in the end of January. So we actually flew out to the guy because I didn't want to put a shipment of 6 in one package for $240,000. So we actually got in the plane, met the guy in the airport, exchanged information, make sure we were good, doing the delivery. And this gentleman bought 12 for me for $40,000
each. And at the time, that was a tremendous price. I mean, that was a price like
price. And that was before they announced that they were going to move up the Jordan TV series. So
got it.
At that time, that variable wasn't in play. Now the card in the 10 can't be touched for anything between less than 50, 55K, and it could be higher than that depending upon how nice it looks.
Now, we were playing around as kids in this industry at about the same time. And I said to someone this past week, because I found a photo from 1991 at a card show, and it was the Michael Jordan rookie, and this is before grades came out. So it was the Michael Jordan rookie for $300 or the Nolan Ryan 1991 Don Russ Elite for $550. And I said, no one in 1991 would have picked the Michael Jordan rookie. And people go, oh, that's ridiculous. It was already 91. I love Michael Jordan. It was not the same. The basketball cards, even with hoop and everything, basketball cards were still the bastard stepchild. So take me back too, because I even had a conversation with a guy who said, well, the reason why no one bought the 86 Fleer is because no one even looked at it. It was, you bought the 86 Fleer baseball, but not the 86.
I was a dealer back then. I started doing card shows in 1981, and basketball cards stopped printing from Topps in 1981. There were no 1982, 1983. So Jordan's a rookie in 84, and Fleer doesn't come out, the famous card that we can talk about in a second, didn't come out in 1986. So the true rookie of Jordan is actually, I'm going to hold this one up here. This is the 1984 Star. Okay, this is considered the true rookie. This is one of the 3 or 4 products that everybody's going after, and these have jumped in price like crazy. Here's actually what it looks like in an unopened pack. Okay, they came in team bags. So why this is interesting is that PSA will not grade these cards.
So why? So let me take you back. So what I've been told, what is always the story is that, well, it's not his true rookie card because it didn't come in a mass release. Like in Fleer 86, you can get them in packs. These
Correct.
were in team sets in baggies. And
Correct.
so it doesn't count. But it is weird, as you said, that PSA, which is the gold standard, and Beckett right underneath it, why Beckett will grade it and PSA won't. So what is that story?
So what happened is that Star was basically, and I remember this as a dealer in 1984, their sets were like $1 or $2. They were considered junk, and nobody took them seriously. Then basketball got big, and Star basically put themselves into the lack of integrity Hall of Fame, and they did the biggest no-no, and they went back and they took the printing presses and they ran basketball cards again.
Well done.
In the mid to late 80s, which is unbelievable, and everything became junk. Now the 101 was on the bag that they didn't reproduce. So all the other Jordans that you see are really junky, and the 101 is the true rookie because they never ran it again. So if you look at the population reports, it's actually a very scarce card. I think in a BGS 10, I think there's only 5 or 6 of them. That card is a fantastic card in the BGS 10.
Let's talk a little bit about the grading, because again, people who are watching this who are memorabilia great collectors for a long time, but also I can't tell you, and I'm sure it gets to you as well, how many people say, "Oh my God, I have that card. I have that card, and it's $50,000." And so what was it, around 2000, 2001? I mean, that's when we started having these grades giving you false scarcity, but also allowing people like you to sell on eBay where there was an apples to apples comparison. So what has grading done? And then my follow-up is it going to be harder to get a 10 in a Fleer 86 Jordan rookie now? Like, does PSA tighten up, or is a 10 a 10?
No, you nailed it. PSA will definitely tighten up, and all 10s are not created equal. The real card that everybody's going for, the golden ticket that doesn't exist yet, is a BGS 10 black label. Okay.
So there's one BGS 10 which sold for 100,000, right?
That was a long time ago. That card right now would be several $100,000, but a black label is all the subs are 10s, and there's 0. So I'm going to show you now. This is an unopened box from a sealed case.
And again, wrapped, but for anyone knows it, it's wrapped by the baseball. What is it called?
Steve Hart, the
Card
Baseball
Exchange.
Card Exchange.
BCE, right? So that guy's made a business out of saying that nothing has moved in that box. That is a official box.
And he specifies that it came from a sealed case, which is better than just finding a regular box that somebody kept. So you want something from a sealed case, it's worth more than the other. So these are going crazy in price because he actually can look at the packs and see through that there's a Jordan on it. And on the back, he specifies that there's a Jordan rookie on top of one of the packs, guaranteed. So if you open this box, you for sure will get at least one Jordan rookie. Now, let's say you take that Jordan rookie and you submit it to Beckett, and you get a BGS 10 black label. You have $1 million card.
Right. Now, do you think they are under pressure to have a black label just because that will kind of generate buzz in the industry?
I mean, I'm not a BGS grader, and I don't have any relationship with them as a grading company, but
seems like it.
They're very well aware that there is no BGS 10 black label.
All right, I have to ask you this. This is going to be the toughest question I'm going to ask you. If people have a great Jordan piece, what do you tell them right now? Do they say, "Hey, Rick, you've sold more Jordan stuff than ever. Is this a real market? And if it's not a real market, and in 3 weeks it's going to go down, I want to know, I want to sell it. Or, should I hold it?" Just try to take away all your biases. What do you say? How do you characterize this marketplace right now?
So I always tell people that when it comes to investments, it could be any investment. It could be gold, liquor, stocks, whatever. When there's profit, you take profit. You're never going to predict and hit the market all the way at the top, and you're never going to buy all the way at the bottom. So if you have profit, take profit.
that's right now. How busy is it with your business, and what percentage of your business, and I know you put so much on eBay, what percentage of your business is Jordan?
So right now, this week, we're probably going to have about $2 million worth of auctions end this week. I would say 500,000 of it is Michael Jordan stuff. Could be balls, could be cards, could be packs, could be signed memorabilia, could be anything. But we'll probably saw about 500,000 this week just in Michael Jordan.
Sorry about that, guys. I lost my connection for a sec. Rick, thanks so much for joining us. I could talk to you for hours. It is amazing, and it's tremendous time, and it is so fun to follow this market.
And next time we'll talk about why getting a Jordan signed rookie is impossible.
He won't. No, I want it now. He won't sign it.
He won't sign it because one time he gave it to somebody and they gave him a fake Jordan card, which is actually the Jordan rookie number 57 is the #1 fake card in the industry. And he found out that they sold his autograph on a fake card, and Jordan said, I can't tell the difference between a real card and a fake card. He won't sign the card. Somebody
now
came
on that, because there's a lot of fakes. I got one more minute. There's a lot of fakes. The fakes of old were that the Fleer logo was fuzzy, that the back had a different type of red. I assume that there's better fakes now, so you really have to watch out. Is your advice, don't buy anything raw on eBay?
Well, eBay forbids you selling the card for raw. You can't sell it raw at all. They forbid it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Rick, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. We'll be in touch.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sorry, I cut out for a couple seconds there. That was Rick PROBSTEIN. What an unbelievable position to be in for him. I mean, he's a tremendous consigner, does so much business on eBay, and really wanted to talk to him tonight while we were talking about the business of Michael Jordan. By the way, you can still get in our raffle. We are giving away 2 schedules, 84-85 Bulls schedules. Just reply to one of our tweets with hashtag MJRaffle3. Now I'm going to bring on a guy who played with the Knicks for a long time and had some Knicks-Bulls matchups, including him hitting that three-pointer with 0.1 seconds to go. And then he moved over to the Chicago Bulls and won a championship with them in the 93 season. Trent, do you hear me?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes. we had Trent Tucker last week, and I was holding up signs to see if he could hear me. So we did a little test, and I'm glad it's my internet connection today. So and we're glad we can talk with you. So my first question to you is, what was the one thing that you come away with playing against Michael Jordan, and the one thing you come away with playing with him?
Well, the one thing that I come away playing against him, we knew how hard it was to beat him. And when you went out to play against someone like Michael Jordan, you had to be at your absolute best, because you knew at any point throughout the game, he could explode and take over the game. And especially when the game was on the line. I take you back to the first game in 1989, second round of the playoffs. Late in the fourth quarter, we had a comfortable lead. We made a few mistakes coming down the stretch. And Michael Jordan, by him being Michael Jordan, was able to capitalize and take over, force the game into overtime. And then he was able to get the Bulls over the top in game number 1. And we've never recovered after that. And then we went on to lose in 6 games against the Chicago Bulls in 1989.
And then playing with him, what did you Like, what did you take away from that?
At any point in time throughout the game, we always felt like that by having the best player, you had a chance to win. If we were down 8 with 4 minutes to go, we always told ourselves to get a couple stops here and there. Michael could take over. If we were up by 8, he was going to put the game away. So when you play with someone who is that good, and you know that anytime you go out to play, you have a great chance to win.
I was talking to BJ Armstrong, and he told me, he's like, what shot do you think Michael Jordan was always trying to take? I said, well, he's trying to dunk the ball. He goes, no. I said he was trying to hit a jump shot. He said, no. I'm like, I give up. He goes, he was trying to get a layup. Every time he was trying to get, he just wanted to get in there and try to get a layup. That's all it was. And if it became a dunk or if it became a jump shot, it was all out of. And I think people were like, I was surprised about that, right? Because like all his highlights, you see when he's hitting all those threes and going like that, and but he always just wanted to get to the rim. Is that right?
Well, he was an attacker. He was always looking to put as much pressure as he could on the defense. And anytime he was in a one-on-one type situation, he felt like that was the best way for him to help his team win basketball games, by going to the basket, putting tremendous pressure on the defense. And also he knew that when you got into the latter part of the game, he was going to be able to get to the free throw line. And the more you could attack, he was going to get the calls coming down the stretch, because the officials always would go on the side of the guy who's attacking the basket throughout the game.
What was it like? I mean, you were part of the third championship, right?
Yes. Yeah.
293. So what was it like traveling at that point on the road? Obviously, the number one draw on the road by then. What was it like being with Jordan on the road?
It was amazing to be a part of something of that nature, because how lucky you are to be a player, to be on a team that is that good, that has a chance to win a championship. So many guys spend their entire careers just hoping, that they could find an opportunity to be in one of those situations. And everywhere you went, it was a sellout. The pressure and the attention was there. And knowing that every time you went out to play, you was going to get the other team's best. And for the guys who played with Michael Jordan, it was a challenge for all of us as well, to see if we had the mental makeup, to deal with all the pressure that came with being around him, and also trying to win another NBA championship.
The autograph scene was starting to pick up around 93. I mean, that's when those grapher guys started really standing around hotels. Did you notice kind of the memorabilia scene, getting off the buses, getting in and out, picking up around that time?
Let's say like when you have a back-to-back game and you're flying from Denver out to Sacramento, and you may land at 2 or 3 in the morning, and there's a mob of people outside of the hotel. I was trying to get autographs at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was just, wanting to say, do these guys ever go to sleep? And in every hotel you went to, they knew exactly where you were staying. But being around someone like a Michael Jordan, that's the type of attention that that he's going to attract and bring every single time.
What do you think about The Last Dance? Is there any surprises that when you were watching, you said, "Wow, I didn't know that," or "That's not true"? Like, is there what is your thoughts on the production?
Well, I like it because it gives the fans, and the American public, a chance to have a look to see exactly what takes place inside of a professional locker room. You hear so many things from the media, you hear so many things from different sources here and there. And I think this documentary is giving people a chance to see exactly what takes place. When you talk about a championship team or a championship type situation, most people think that players get along every single day, but they have their trials and tribulations. You can see jealousy, you can see envy, you can see some guys who think that they deserve more credit. But at the end of the day, the difference between a championship team and a good team, the championship teams are able to put those things to the side, get back to being a team coming down the stretch, and focus on the job at hand And the most important thing to do at that time is to make sure that we're all on the same page to see if we can win one more championship.
One of my friends texted me and said, "Do you see how crappy those locker rooms are?" I'm like, "That's '98. That's '98. You should have seen the Boston Garden in '84. I mean, essentially, you're just. I mean, it's a chair and awful carpet, especially if you were the visitors." When you
the visitor team in Boston, they only had one shower head working.
They what?
When you played the Boston Celtics back in 1984, you know, they only had one shower head that was working in the visiting locker room.
Yeah. Because Red Auerbach was doing that. He was pulling the strings there. But right. when you look at what players have today versus you guys, and obviously, you know, the 60s and 70s were bumming it even more. But when you look at what they have today versus, you know, what you had, what's the differences?
The accommodations. You know, players, you know, have better accommodations today compared to 25, 30 years ago. They have, you know, more opportunities to different things that were not available to the players back then. You know, the charter flights, it is much easier now for players to get in and get out. And I can remember my first year with the Knicks back in 1982, and that's when the Kings were in Kansas City. And if you had a back-to-back situation between the Kings and the Nuggets, you know, there was no charter flights to get you out to Denver after the game was over. So first call in the morning was 4:30 a.m. for bags. Had to be on the bus by 5.
Get out of here.
To catch a flight by 6:30. To catch a flight by 6:30 to get to Denver. And you were hoping at that time, you know, that the weather was decent enough so that the plane wouldn't be delayed.
Damn, I wish I was betting in 1982. I would have bet against you guys big time. That's better than the James Harden strip club advantage. That's amazing. Well, Trent, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it. I'm glad we were able to work this out. And it was great. It was really cool. My last question is going to be, if that shot, what was that, 1990 or 91, the .1 shot, if that happened today, you know, and they made that .3 rule after that, I mean, how much was that really touching your hands? And would it seemed like the clock was like sticking a little bit. So today, with the .3, would that have gotten off?
Maybe in today's game, with the officials having the ability to go back and take another look, they may have tried to wave it off. But yeah, that's what home court advantage is all about, right?
How much did that did that shot? How many drinks did that shot buy you in New York, and for how long?
Quite a few, right?
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Trent. Appreciate it. Enjoy tonight.
Hey, thank you. Okay, you too.
You got it. All right, that was Trent Tucker of the Knicks and the Bulls. We had Rick Probstein earlier. Still have about 15 minutes to get in on our free raffle. We're giving at an 84-85. Chicago Bulls schedule, we're giving 2 away, so there'll be 2 winners. Reply to us with hashtag MJRaffle3, and you also must follow Action Network HQ on Twitter. Wow, so this is going to be a good one tonight. We're really excited. I got a ton of tweets ready to go, but I want to bring in this man a little bit early. He's Patrick Ryan from Event Elect, which is a ticket distribution company. These guys are huge, and Patrick is probably one of the smartest guys and one of the smartest guys in memorabilia. So I always wanted to talk to him, and he actually has a jersey that is from this day in 1998, the Last Dance season. And so we're going to bring him in. Patrick, are you there? With video?
All right.
Are you ready to go? I just heard you. Can I see your video?
I don't know.
You press the video,
oh, there it is. All right.
There it is. 1, 2, 3. Magic. There you are. There we go. Okay, now the one behind you is that's the real deal one, directly behind you.
Yeah, so the red jersey's the game used jersey. The Kobe's just the signed one, and then the black one's just signed.
Right. Okay, so let's go back. How much Jordan have you collected and why?
Well, it's been here or there. I mean, I got back into the hobby in 2013. Would say I got back into it in a pretty significant way in 2015. And interestingly, I think you remember this. I had a strategy where I was trying to buy one Jordan a month that had about $1,000 value, but like the market was just kept moving up. Then I abandoned that strategy, but I gather a few of his key cards over time. And then really it was last summer when I got my hands on a PSA 1086 Fleer, and it was also last summer when I won the jersey at auction.
Which is interesting that you say last summer, because last summer was in Chicago, the National Sports Collectors Convention, and I thought the Jordan rookie would be like at its height. Like, let me just say, and obviously there's more than one factor, but hey, it's Chicago. Like it's going to be nuts. And there were people at displays of like 10 or 15 of these highly graded Jordan rookies, and they were at 20,000. And people were saying, well, that's because Asia's not as interested. And so what have you learned about the marketplace over time?
Well, I mean, everyone just had a thesis that Jordan was eventually going to take off. It was really a matter of time. And a lot of people thought that last summer would be the right time with the National being back in Chicago. But, it was just an odd timing of events. I mean, the Jordan market really basically just effectively doubled over the last 45 days. I think the documentary is a big part of it, but also the hobby's gained a lot of new collectors. And a lot of that's actually because of Luka and Zion. So what you're seeing is these people paying huge premiums for Luka and Zion, and then they're taking a step back and saying, wait, if Luka and Zion are worth this, what's that mean LeBron's worth? What's that mean Kobe's worth? What's that mean Jordan's worth? And so we've seen just tremendous spike in these new collectors as a result of Luka and Zion.
Okay. I'm going to do an interlude because I forgot to tell you about our big story on the Action Network. Right, Ev? We have a big story on the Action Network, which is that we have a check. There's a check, Golden Auctions, which you bought the jersey from, has obtained basically a $15,000, I don't know if you call it marker or signed wire from Michael Jordan at Trump, Indiana from the 1998 season. So we have a story on that. They're now offering that. I will be a bidder, but I have a journalistic responsibility to get the story out there first. So check that out on the Action Network. It's also on the Twitter feed. All right. So you bought that in Golden Auctions. I was there at or I was in Chicago at the time that you bought that Jordan jersey last year. Tell us the story around it. Did you spend more or less than you thought, and how you feeling now?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I had never participated in one of Golden's live auctions before, and there were a few items in the catalog that had caught my attention. Obviously, the Jordan jersey was the most desirable item from my perspective, and I had a number in mind. But also, I was like, look, I'll kind of be getting my feet wet. There's a couple other game-used items, Brett Favre jersey. There was a Jose Altuve jersey. There a Mike Trout bat. So I was like, I'll just try to get something. But I wanted to make a viable bid on the Jordan. I was like, I'm going to make a real live bid and kind of get my feet wet in this world of live auctions. And I had my number in mind. And it was.
Wait, let me intercept you there. What was good about this Jordan is that there was a letter from the team, the Charitables, which did the auction. There was a letter from Upper Deck on the that he signed it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it connected it to a game, which when there have been game used jerseys, they say, oh, it was photo matched to this game. Maybe. There's like 5 or 10 jerseys that have been matched to a game. And so that is what kind of convinced you as a smart memorabilia investor to say, this is better than most.
Right. And it was also like, it was a playoff jersey, and it was today. Today's the anniversary. And it's sort of crazy to think about that. Like tonight's actually the night, the Last Dance is going to show this series. So I'll talk a little bit about the jersey before getting back to the auction. It was a Mother's Day Sunday. The Bulls won. I've read the newspaper from those days around the series. A couple interesting tidbits. Jordan had tons of family in town for this game because it was in fact his last game in Charlotte as a Bull. There was a tidbit about the fact that he did a Make-A-Wish. He granted a wish the morning of this game, which to me is just tremendous. The Bulls won. He scored 31 points in the game, and they went on to win the championship. It's a Nike jersey. It's a red jersey. And the provenance of matching the jersey to the game, there's just not many better examples that really tie it so tightly to a game. So I felt really good. I felt like, look, I don't think we're going to see a finals jersey hit the market. So I think a playoff jersey from the last bowl season was about as good as you could get outside of some other historic games. So I go to the auction. I'm there with a couple friends, actually. And Darren Prince happened to sit down at the table I was at. And as you know,
who was a guest on our first show, agent to Dennis Rodman, marketing guy for Dennis Rodman. And
Dennis was appearing at the show the next day. And so Darren Prince was there. And as you know, Darren's just hyperactive. He's always on his phone. He's always talking, always mingling. And I make my bid, and I make basically my final bid. I had one more increment I could go. And there was no other bidders in the room. And legend has it, Ken Golden could confirm this, that the other bidder was international, and he lost his internet connection. He had every intention of going up. He even offered me a premium the next day for the jersey.
The next day.
And I said, it's hard to pass up that much money in a single day to have profited that kind of money in 12 hours. But I walked. I was like, I've got to get back. I've got to process all this because I didn't plan on winning it. I mean, Darren,
it was around what, 125 or something?
It was like 130 after buyer's premium.
Okay. And now it's worth probably at least double that.
Probably.
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you this, Darren Prince in the room, he looked up, he goes, you won that? And he goes, what'd you win it at? And I told him, he goes, that's cheap. He was like, that was cheap. And there were a couple other guys in the room, they're like, it went for that. So there were a lot of people who just expected it to be way in the stratosphere. So there were people who probably would have bid who just walked the item.
By the way, just a note, Nike only made the Bulls jerseys in 97, 98. That's the only year of a Nike jersey.
And I want to say something. It's like, it's not a $130,000 jersey. I mean, this is an investment that I've researched and I knew a lot about. I mean, so it's not different than a stock portfolio in many ways. I mean, Rick PROBSTEIN just said it. Like, if you're in position to take a profit, take a profit. So I intend to keep this jersey for a very long time. I think there's even more room for it to appreciate. I plan on when it does leave my collection, I've got some specific parameters I want to follow with it. But, it is an investment. So it's not just like this thing that I wanted around the house. I mean, this was, I don't do a lot in the stock market. I know sports. I've been in sports ticketing for almost 15 years. I sold baseball cards on the side of the road when I was 7 years old. So like this was a real investment, although I love it. And I can't imagine ever loving a stock as much as I love this jersey. But I don't want people to get the perspective that like this was just some like highfalutin evening out. I mean, this was strategic. And as are a lot of my sports memorabilia purchases.
What have you thought of how outrageous this marketplace is?
I've been selling a lot of cards. There's certain things that are not stable. I mean, they're like the Luka Prism rookie at $500 when there's 10,000 of them going around. People buying that, you're in for a rude awakening in a couple of years. And I feel bad that a lot of novice collectors are trailing that card while I'm selling it.
Right. It does seem like the whole marketplace, it's not only Jordans. I mean, the whole marketplace, yeah. It's outrageous to see even what I thought the funniest sale was the Sam Vincent graded 10 of the, like I had literally 100 of these cards from 1990, the 90 hoop set. It had Jordan in his Valentine's Day jersey the one day he wore number 12 because he got his jersey stolen, and sold for $100. The Sam Vincent card. I don't care if that's graded 11. I mean, unreal.
So here's the thing that's interesting is some of the stuff in the 90s might still be undervalued. During the downtime, I've bought a bunch of old wax. Getting these cards in pristine shape is really hard. I mean, so like, the Bo Jackson black and white photo scorecard went from $50 to $250 in a matter of a month. That might hold because I've opened up a bunch of those packs over the last week. It's hard to get a PSA 10 Bo.
Right.
So I think there's still opportunity out there, but you want to be careful. You know, and I think that you just got to find your niche. And also, you shouldn't buy something that you don't really like, you know, like you've got to trust your gut. And so the things I've loaded up on are things that I just personally was like, I'm comfortable if I have to keep that for a little while.
What are you doing with Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, those guys? Where are you? Are you investing? Are you holding?
LeBron's tough, right? So his 2003 tops, I was buying in decent quantity at $300, and it shot up to $2,000. And like, it's hard to not sell it, but it's also like, it's a great looking card. It's LeBron. So LeBron's the one I'm struggling the most with. I've got a few real high end LeBrons that I just don't know what to do with. So I actually talked to Josh Luber from StockX. I talked to Nat Turner just yesterday because I've got doubles of one of these really rare LeBrons. And I was like, you know, I'd feel more comfortable trading it than selling it because I just might be an easier transaction. And both those guys are interested. There's only 4 of these cards, and I have 2 of them. So that's going to be an interesting one. So I think I think Kobe's certain stuff's going to stay hot. You know, this is an Upper Deck authenticated signed jersey. I think those are going to be hard to find. I bought that jersey at the top of the market. I'll say it. I was one of the guys that was buying at the top. I just felt like those are items that are going to disappear, and you're just not going to see them again.
Well, he's not signing anymore, unfortunately. I mean, that's something.
But what I mean by that is, like, you have guys like speculate on Muhammad Ali or Mickey Mantle planning to sell upon a memorial event. People were buying these and are like, this is my Kobe item. It's never hitting the market again.
Right. What's interesting about Ali is that Ali alone, I think because of the decline of his signature, when he died, there was literally no bump. So many fakes. And people, frankly, didn't know what was real and what was fake.
Right.
You know, and it was tremor. Anyone could fake it, and it was zero.
Yeah. Well, and so that's why, you know, buying Steiner stuff. So the Muhammad Ali stuff that he signed with Steiner had a huge premium on it, whereas the stuff that was not from an official private signing struggled a little bit in the market. What else we have 5 minutes, or how much longer do we have? I think Darren, your internet might be cutting out.
in my area who are on Wi-Fi. So sorry, I just left you there. All right. Final question. Where do you think Jordan is going from here? How much of a blip in this is this a blip in the marketplace, and where does it settle?
So I think what we've realized as kind of collective, like as society, but then also the memorabilia folks, is that Jordan was underrated, and like he kind of went unappreciated until we kind of finally remember how physical these teams were. And when you can see these clips, you really say he probably could have averaged 50 a night in NBA. And now that people think that again, I think there's a chance there's still lots of appreciation to be had. I remember when I was in high school, you would be the Babe Ruth of something, okay? And you kind of started hearing you're the Michael Jordan of something. It's now you're just the Michael Jordan of something. And so he's recaptivated people's emotions. A story that I wanted to share was, this jersey being a Mother's Day jersey means a lot because my grandmother was the one who got me in the hobby and helped me grow my love of sports. And when she moved to Miami, she became friends with a group of nuns, okay? They had no previous sports fandom, but they, no pun intended, religiously watched Michael Jordan games. Then on Sundays, my grandmother would go watch Jordan's NBC game of the week with them after church. He was charismatic and beloved by everybody. Everybody has a moment in their life where they're like, I have to rise to the occasion like Michael Jordan. Some people have that opportunity every day, but everybody sometime in their life, they feel like they have to become Michael Jordan. And I think that's why everyone has some connection to him. And so I think for that reason, everyone's going to want a piece of him. And I think that, there's certain items that, if you're a casual collector, buy something within your range, because there's great Jordan collectibles at $5 and there's great collectibles at $1 million. So buy something in your range and just cherish it, and don't look at it as an investment. Look at it as a piece to motivate you or inspire you or make you happy. And I think Jordan's one of the few people who can do that across so many demographics. So I think there's plenty of room for more love for Michael Jordan.
And I'm on mute. Patrick Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. You are my sensei in the sports memorabilia space. So it's really been awesome to see that you have a Jordan jersey and you have some incredible pieces. You're cashing out now on the things that you think you should be. Really awesome. So we're about 14 minutes away from the last dance. Sorry, we've had some technical difficulties. We have raffled off. We'll get some names of the people that won the 2 schedules from 84-85, featuring a picture of Jordan. And speaking of Jordan, we have Jordy Geller from Shoeseum, the old Shoeseum. And he came on our first show, and he had expressed to me that he was thinking about selling his 1985 Air Jordan 1 game used signed Jordans. And sure enough, this week they appeared at Sotheby's. And it's now up to $150,000, including buyer's premium. Jordy Geller, what's up? How are you?
Hi, Darren. I'm great. How are you?
We are great. Other than my 2 technical difficulties, we're all good. So let's get to it. Why did you decide to sell these things?
Well, you played a big part in it, actually. As you know, I love the content that you share, and I've been watching you sharing all of these skyrocketing Michael Jordan items, from basketball cards to game-worn jerseys to ticket stubs. And I was just watching this day after day after day, and it had me thinking maybe now is the time to sell my game-worn shoes. So on April 23rd, I reached out to my friend Brom over at Sotheby's, And I started sending him screenshots of your tweets. And I was like, look at this. These items are just like going through the roof. And I think now's the time to sell the shoes. And so in 15 days time, we put the auction together and it went live just the other night. And it's just super exciting.
What does it take to get rid of these things? I mean, how much have you enjoyed them? I think you've had them for like 7 or 8 years, maybe not even, I don't know. So how much do you enjoy them? And it seems like you're all good. Like, this is the time to take money off the table. I've enjoyed them and they should be in someone else's collection. How good are you with that, without that thought? And how much do you actually look at them and talk about them?
I truly cherish them. I mean, every single thing about them. And if we talked 3 weeks ago, which we did, I wasn't even thinking about selling them because they mean so much to me. And as all of this has transpired, I've been thinking, you know, I've really had my time with them. I had them on display in my sneaker museum. I've traveled all over the place with them. I went to the NBA All-Star game last year in Charlotte and displayed them there. I've brought them to other people's houses and collections, and I strongly believe that they've helped me acquire some of my other really special pairs. And it's like I've had my time with them, and now with so much excitement going on around Michael Jordan and the shoes, it's like it's time to let them go and just share them with somebody else.
So we had the 84 Olympic shoes, which was sold by SCP Auctions for $190,000 in 2017. And we had the Flu Game shoes, which when those sold for $104,000 in 2013, I couldn't believe it. Thought it was just so low. So you're now with buyer's premium at 150. Where do you think these can go? How high?
Man, I think sky's the limit, really. And I'm anxious to see where it'll end up. We priced them very conservatively. We started the auction at $85,000 as a nod to 1985. They got a bid right away of $100,000. They've already received multiple bids, and like you're saying, they're at $150,000 right now with the buyer's premium, and that's already one of the top 5 most expensive athletic shoes of all time. I really believe that the appreciation for game-worn Jordans, and especially the first ones, has really not yet come to fruition. I mean, you talk about walking in another man's shoes, and like, who else's shoes would you want to be able to hold or think? Not that you would walk in them, but man, like, there's nothing more iconic than Michael Jordan's shoes. And his cards and jerseys are going through the roof, and now the shoes are too.
What's your favorite part about the shoes? You showed me, obviously there's a 13 and a 13 and a half, 2 different two different sizes for his left foot and his right foot. It also has, it says it's player exclusive markings. It says inside what factory it was made in.
Yes, the tagging on the inside of the shoe shows that they're different sizes. So Michael wore a 13 on his left foot and a 13 and a half on his right foot. And then the date is in there. It says 85/02/04. 85 is for 1985, and the shoes were manufactured between the 2nd and 4th month of 85, so February to April. And then after the date, it says TYPS, which is very important because the PS stands for player sample, and it means that the shoes were made for Michael Jordan. My favorite parts of the shoes, I couldn't even pick one. I love the red laces. He almost never wore red laces on the Chicago Bulls Air Jordan 1s. He did in Boston in the iconic 63-point playoff performance. I love all the gashes and slashes and markings. I mean, MJ wore those to battle, and each one of those just represents a pivot or who knows. And I love the cut of the shoe. It's actually a mid-top, so it's slightly lower than the high tops that were released to the public. So it's like there's something really special about knowing that these shoes were made for Michael Jordan.
I hope everyone in life likes one thing as much as you love shoes, because your passion is going to blow up my screen. I mean, it has been so fun over the years to like, that's why I don't know how you could, even if someone said $1 million, it's like, well, I guess you go get your next thing or whatever. You've parted with so much. You had this museum of like 2,500 shoes. You parted with so much over the years. Will a piece of you feel missing when this is gone, no matter what the moment is or the money is? And how do you replace it?
You know, it's never easy, and I'm sure down the road there will be a part of me that misses them and maybe that regrets letting them go. But it's a part of life. You know, you can't hang on to everything forever. And I have a wife and 2 kids and a responsibility to be a family man and a businessman. And I feel good that I'm making the right decision.
Well, Jordy, I'm happy that I'm part of this story. I'm rooting for you. I root for my story, so I'm rooting for the. I need it to be 7 figures too. You know, the bigger the number is, the more clicks that we'll get at the Action Network. So I'm rooting for you. I love following your passion, and I'm sure you're going to be watching Last Dance tonight. And thanks so much for sharing this with us. It's truly an awesome piece. And that signature is also amazing, by the way, on the pair of shoes.
Thank you for having me. I mean, the shoes are just incredible. I wish I could just like reach out and hand them to you and let you look at them and hold them because.
Oh, I want them. I want them. What is just it's at Sotheby's. If someone wants to push the button on 175 or 200 grand right now, it's at Sotheby's. When does it close?
It closes on the final day of the Last Dance. So the 17th, the morning of, at 9:00 in the morning Pacific time.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
All right. So another show is behind us. We are going to give the winners of the raffle before we conclude. Thanks for everyone for watching, for following the Action Network HQ on Twitter. Check us out, our website. We got a story up right now on the new item that is in the Golden Auctions, which is a $15,000 wire signed by Michael Jordan to Trump, Indiana, in between in the 1998 season, in between them playing the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers. He apparently went to the Trump, Indiana casino and went to the tables. Obviously, the gambling segment probably brought that out from someone who had that. So we're really excited about The Last Dance. I want to thank Rick PROBSTEIN, just tremendous insight. Trent Tucker for coming back after last week. Patrick Ryan for showing his jersey and just the insight that he had. And of course, Jordy. Do we have the winners for the raffle? Oh, we're going to tweet out. We'll tweet out the winners of the raffle, or we're tweeting it out now. We're tweeting out the winners of the raffle now. Okay. He's pointing to his phone, which I think means, oh, I'm going to tweet him out, or someone will tweet him out, or we'll have a way to. Oh, hold on. I got it. Hold on. Oh, Jordan Turnbull and Craig Wakeham. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm back. I had to go to my text. Jordan Turnbull and Craig Wakeham are the winners. He already texted me, but I didn't see it. Jordan Turnbull and Craig Wakeham. We will get your addresses and we will send you those 1986, 84, 85 Chicago Bulls schedule. For Evan Abrams, Scott Miller, Brian Mears, Chad Millman, and all of the Action Network. I hope you guys enjoyed The Last Dance, and I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Good night.